Hello, welcome to New Meta Podcast, episode 120. We've had a week of the new patch 7.28, and we're going to be talking about Hoodwink, obviously, and also other happenings in the Dota meta world. Joining me, Marco and Adam. Marco, welcome to the pod. How are you doing this week?
Doing good. Enjoying some 7.28, some Hoodwinky.
Nice. How many games have you had of the Hoodwink?
Pretty embarrassing. 3.
Oh, 3.
And fucking 1-2.
Yikes. Well, I'm not 1, so there you go.
Could be worse.
Yeah. Adam, how about you? Have you got your hands on the hero yet? And how are you doing in general?
I am 0-0. I have not been fast enough to click it when it was unbannable, and now that it is bannable, it has been banned in every game. So I have yet to pick it.
EU server ping. When you party with us, you've got no chance. It's just too difficult.
I do think I'll get a win on it before Void Spirit, though. So
have you still not won a game on Void Spirit?
Nope.
How many?
Wow.
I've maybe played it 3 to 5 times.
What?
Well, how have games been, I suppose? Let's just fly straight into it. Marco, how's your game of Codenames?
Codenames is really good fun. I mean, yeah, I don't know if anyone's played it, but I wanted to play Articulate online, but kind of failed. Couldn't find anything, so I went for this instead. And I do love a little word game, imperfect information, and all that. Seeing the crap that some people have come out with, it's really funny as well.
Haven't you got to link 3 things with 1 word or something like that?
So there is a grid of, say, 15 to 20 words, and then you've got to get your team to choose the right words, and you've got 1 word to describe a link of, say, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's it.
So you say how many guesses you give them, or like how many attempts. So if you're a baller, you go like 1 word, 5 links or guesses.
Wow.
Sometimes you go base and go for like a 2er.
Nice, I like it. How's your Dota been though? That's what the listeners don't want to hear about this fluff.
Listeners want to hear about the trends that are dictating the meta.
Yeah.
Position 1, aghs, is unbeatable. This shit is
1-0.
Sorry, no, 3-0, bro.
Oh, okay. All right.
This shit does not lose. You win a lane, hands down. You smash the lane, hands down. You then get a blade mail to keep you a bit beefy, it's like a spec. You get a blade mail to tide you over. You then get a Dezo, probably about 15, 16 minutes because you're balling. So you're hitting like a truck. You got power treads and a level 10 attack speed talent, so you're hitting pretty fast. The Dezo DPS is coming in strong. Follow it up with an Aghanims. You call someone or you battle hunger someone. That bitch has now got another -7 armor going. They're now in negative armor territory, and you're whacking them for about 300, whilst they've got about 200 MS and you've got 400 MS.
Because they have battle hunger on them, right?
Yeah. And it's just slay, slay, slay. You are a monster.
Was the Ag Shard, is that you spin when you attack?
That's true. So the Ag Shard, a bit underwhelming. What I've mentioned is I think you need the attack speed, like you need the Hyperstone before, or what's it called? The Moon Shard and the Ag Shard. To get the Ag Shard too soon can feel like a bit too low value if you're not attacking fast enough. So I wasn't, in my head I did think, yeah, that's going to be core to the strategy, but actually it's not core, and it's kind of a luxury really late item.
The Aghs is better.
The key is Dezo Aghs. If you got those 2, your minus armor is insane.
What about that Orbo Corrosion?
I think I
build that.
I think 1 game I might have got it. I actually don't think I got an axe. I think it was someone else. The reason I've not bothered with that is the movement slow aspect I don't care for, because Battle Hunger gives you that movement speed.
But they
advantage.
stack.
They do stack the minus armor, that's true.
It's overkill, but it does give you a little bit of everything. It's health, minus armor, and move slow, which is the 3 parts of the axe build.
It is, but I do think I'd rather have a bracer and a wand over that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I built on this POS 1.
It's one of those things that, like, if you start with an Orb of Venom, it could be nice to do.
Yeah. If you want to build Orb of Venom or Blightstone, that item, whatever it's called, is really, really tasty. But for this POS 1 axe, I don't think it's core enough.
I love all of the new items. It's not, no one knows what they're called, so it's Orb of Venom 2, Yules 2, Atos 2, and just all this stuff. That's at least what I've been hearing them referred to.
What is it called?
Hat, the fluffy hat.
The fluffy hat, yeah.
It's Orb of Corrosion.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Orb of Corrosion.
Okay.
Yeah, the POS 1 axe is strong. So that's what the axe does then. It gives 7 armor per battle.
You take 7 from every hero, basically.
That you call.
And then they get battle hunger on them.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Anyone you call gets battle hunger cast on them, and then the battle hunger is what does -7 armor in addition.
Oh, so it stays after the call.
Yeah. So I just cast battle hunger on everyone I call, and then if you've got battle hunger cast on you, you've got -7 armor. So you just W someone and run at them and hit them for about 3.
Well, you don't have to. So it's like it upgrades 2 of your spells.
Exactly.
That's a pretty value aghs, because normally it's just 1 spell. It could be a Q, not always an ult. That's weird that it's the Q and the W are value.
Yeah. So I mean, the Q aspect is a bonus. I'm not buying aghs for the Q cast battle hunger and everyone. It's more I just want that singular battle hunger target to have a shit ton of minus armor. But then you get this added bonus of everyone you call. If you happen to get a multi-man call, you get the battle hunger. Something interesting as well. Say you call 2 heroes or a hero and a creep. Because you cast multiple battle hungers, you get multiple MS buffs. So
oh wow, they stack.
They stack.
So often you're flying because there are multiple units of battle hunger on them. It's what I've been doing as well at the start of fights. Just cast battle hunger on a neutral camp as you're heading to a fight, and it'll give you that MS buff for like 20 seconds or something, and then 7 seconds later, or whatever the CD is, you can cast battle hunger again, and you've got these stacks of movement speed. So it's really fun. It's really cool. It's unbeatable.
Strong. Pub, the new meta, play it in your pub seal of approval.
Absolutely. You're just going to smash the lane. No one can stand up to an axe in a lane.
Nice. While we're on the topic, and we'll get to Hoodwink Corner in a minute, but let's maybe finish Marco's games. I'm intrigued by this OD game that you played, because OD's a talking point because the win rate is once again abysmal following a major patch like it was last year.
I need someone to check its current in-game win rate, because I know there was that thread about it being a 19% in Divine Plus, which is really bad. That was before this mini patch, where its numbers have been buffed a little bit, which was expected. So say the Arcane Orb damage has gone up, and a couple of the numbers
move speed and
people were complaining.
He's like 43% or something now.
So the win rate this week in Divine and Immortal is 30.0%.
Better than 19.
It's improved.
So, I don't know about today specifically. I only know today specifically across all MMRs, and it's 38% plus 2% from yesterday. But if we look at the win rates overall, patch hits, it's 34. Next day it's 34.5. Next day it's 36. Then it's 36.5, and now it's 38.5. So it's safe to say that even outside, it's safe to say it's bad. It's also safe to say that even outside of this mini patch, people did have no idea what they're doing with the new OD. And what will probably happen is the numbers will slowly creep up, and just when people figure it out, Valve will drop a big load of buffs, and then it will be OP. I think that's the timeline. That's the Outworld Destroyer. Excuse me, what am I even talking about? Who's this Devourer hero again? Outworld Destroyer. But Marco, you've actually played it, and you didn't have a problem, did you? No problem with no wave clear? With no AoE W?
So I'm not familiar with this AoE OD. The last time I played OD was the York Showdown. That's like 3 years ago or something.
Right.
When I was like rolling out the OD. So I've only ever known it as a single Astral. I didn't mind it. I went Midas. You use it in the lane, the cast range is great, so you're not screwing yourself over by having to run really close to get the Astral off. It's easy to get off. The CS is good. Okay, all fine. A big factor for this was honestly the Grief Pudge plus 4 actually turned out to be Omega value, because there was a lot of Astral setups. So that was high value.
Well, you had a Pudge that could actually hook out of Astral. That's unheard of.
Yeah, man.
With the Astral having varying timings.
Yeah, you do get the ring if you're an ally, so you've got no excuse. And at level 4, it lasts 4 seconds, so a lot of setup time. But yeah, the Pudge OD combo is strong, not going to lie. And then I felt like I was hitting hard. I could have solo killed Tinker at 6 if I'd skilled my ult at 6. I didn't skill my ult because I thought I wouldn't have the mana, but that was a mistake. I should have skilled ult at 6 and I would have got a kill at 6. Anyway, I get a kill like a couple levels later. I went Midas because I felt like that needed to kind of help me snowball the farm. And then just standard OD things. You've got a W, which is an immense offensive setup or defensive save. You hit hard. The Arcane Orb, with the new passive, it's just, I don't need to worry about the passive. That's one thing I didn't like about the new OD. Just give me a fucking passive. I don't want to press E. Now we're back to passive gaming. Your Q and your E, constant uptime, Gucci. Big damage. I just felt fine. I don't know all this crying 90.
Yeah, fair enough. Adam, how have... Wait, should we do Hoodwink Corner and then we'll just go to Adam for games and then general observations about patch that might have come along with games? Is that the best format? So we can get Hoodwink discussion out of the way. We didn't even finish all of the patch notes in our big, long 3-hour episode. By the way, shout out to any listeners that made it through, your troopers, your heroes, because I was not nodding off by the end almost. Hoodwink, what do you think about this hero? The numbers have already been nerfed a little bit in a firefighting patch. So considering that, Adam, is this hero still busted?
Probably. I haven't seen it very much because it keeps getting banned.
Yeah.
But yeah, the skills are really strong. The W is absurd. I played a game of Mars, and I died a lot in lane. It was against a safe lane Hoodwink. I was just perplexed by the W. It was like, how to describe it? It would be like, it's a circle AoE, and say like at 12 o'clock is where it lands on the tree, and I'm all the way at 6 o'clock. So I'm the full distance away, and it pulls you in. Like, it yoinks you that full range.
Mm.
Like, it's not centered on the tree. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so fine, is what I felt like. I'm like, there's no way I can get latched to anything. And then every time I would just get yoinked all the way out in the trees. Like, I guess I'm dead again. I won the game, though, because Mars is very good against that hero later when you just blink in and stab it to a wall.
Yeah.
It explodes. But in the lane, I was like, I don't get it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an interesting hero. I feel similarly to you that in the lane it can be really strong. The attack damage and the armor is just really high. This hero, if I just click on it quickly here.
The animation is really good too, the attack animation.
Yeah, the animation's like gyro. It's strong. And it's got high damage. I think it's got something like 7 armor. Level 1?
4 or 5. It's 4 or 5.
It's
for a
4,
ranged hero.
It's 4 really base good armor, and then add on top of that. So I don't know how much that is in total, but I feel like it's something like 6 armor or something. But that's very strong. And then early game, the Acorn does a lot. It's one of those heroes people still aren't familiar with it, so you can catch people in weird situations with the Acorn.
But the Ironwood tree it makes.
Yeah.
The double tango region.
Yeah, that's the play. You acorn them for damage, and then you eat the tree with the tango. That's the strong. That's the stuff right there. The ult is very strong, sort of when you level it. Like when you hit 6 and when you hit 12, it can be really strong. But I honestly feel like late game it's underwhelming simply because it's so squishy. It's almost like playing Dark Willow mid, and you get wrecked by a Mars or any hero, any kind of disable, because the spells aren't high cast range. So you have to kind of be in there. You have to be in there to cast your Acorn shot on your bushwhack.
Rely on the scurry for sure.
Yeah, and if you don't arrive through trees out of nowhere, then, or if you sort of mess up the initiation and allow anyone any sight on you, 1 stun and you're going to die. And that's never a situation you want to be in as a core.
I don't think people are building BKB enough on her because they are just wanting to play the game and like try her out. But she'll probably be, if you build that on her, she's pretty okay. I think she really excels as the really annoying hide in the trees, push out a wave, you can never kill her type of a hero. and she gets really farmed off of that, keeping the waves pushed. She's the one that takes the scary farm because her escape is absurd. The fact that you just run through trees, very few heroes can catch her.
Yeah. What do you think, Marco, about Hoodwink? You've played it more than anyone else?
Yeah, I think optimally put it in the 3 is best because, like you say, they can be really aggressive where it farms and it slides away. The scale factor, I think, is immense. That I feel like when I've played Hoodwink, you get to the start of the late game, you pick up, say, your second or third item, and all of a sudden, you do immense damage. And you got that Agi talent, and you get a Daedalus that have been going. All of a sudden, crazy damage, so really, really good scaling. I think with the fighting, you can always sufficiently be on the outskirts. I do think you've got... Akon's got decent cast range, and then with the bushwhack,
yeah,
I think that's quite long cast range as well. So I think you don't need a BKB. I have thought maybe, do you want it? Because again, when you scale to the late game, she actually turns into quite a good right clicker. Just the base attack speed, the damage of your right click does scale really strong as well.
Also, your Akon shot scales off physical.
You get double of them.
Yeah, you can also just rely on the Akon to do all your damage. I've struggled a couple times mid, albeit against another good mid player. I struggled a bit with mana one game, and it made me think I want to go one Wraith Band into that Falcon Blade rather than double Wraith Band. I feel like that would really help the mana issues of the early game. And then, ideally I would play it mid or 1, but optimally I do think 3 is better because of the aggro farm, scale, you offer utility. You're not as perfect a tempo hero as other heroes because your initiation's that bit less reliable, your damage is that bit less reliable. So I do think you want to be that 3 position and have a true 1 and a true 2 to back you up.
People are in love with this Gleipnir in terms of an item build. Is that the way to
I
go,
don't know
or is it the jury's still out?
Oh, I like it.
I don't think that's a core item, though.
I think
the
core.
Maelstrom is a core.
You flash farm so well with it.
Yeah.
And then I do think the root, because then it's root with your tree as well, so you do get better synergy than most heroes by having that Atos built in, and then it gives you the stats you want. I do like the Gleipnir. But what item would you go second, Adam?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a fan of... it's like the same thing with Silver Edge. It's not slot efficient when you build up all those things.
Gleipnir?
You put all of the money into one slot, and then you have these empty slots.
That's the definition of slot efficiency?
I think it's slot inefficient early to rush. Is what I'm saying. Because you have 2 slots full, and then once it gets put together, you only have 1 slot full.
Oh, that's good.
What would you go like Molineer? I don't know. I think Witchblade is the most OP item in the patch. If we want to talk about that, so probably get that next on her.
Does that give instant armor though? Does she really care for instant armor?
It gives damage.
Yeah, Dezo.
It doesn't even give damage, it just gives attack speed. It gives you poison, I suppose. Yeah.
You suppose.
Oh yeah, it's just attack speed. You don't care for attack speed on Hoodwink.
You get attack speed, you get projectile speed, you get armor, and you get...
You do get DPS, actually.
A poison.
There's no way Hoodwink wants his item.
I don't think it's... But I'm not so sure about this Gleipnir, because I don't really feel like Atos is that... Does this hero need an Atos? If you think of the Atos builders in Dota, Necro, Underlord, Viper, heroes like that, they get it because they don't have a casual stun and they're not...
I think you just go raw damage and you either get a Chrysalis or you go MKB.
I've been going Daedalus for the raw damage and you do get mega damage, which is amazing. I do think with the Gleipnir that it's not in isolation, it's the fact that you Gleipnir and then it allows your Akon Bushwhack setup to be more guaranteed, and so you be locking someone down for say 4 seconds rather than a dubious sometimes 2, sometimes none. Instead,
it's good if you're going like a 3. It's probably better utility to have this Gleipnir item than like raw damage. because you don't really go with 3 to be the core, like the one from the 3 role, which is kind of almost how she ends up because how good she farms.
Is there any room for Blink?
I don't need a blink, surely. Very much.
Well, why are you
I
building?
think if you're at 3, it's pretty good. It makes you pretty sneaky.
I just feel like with the Gleipnir, you want Maelstrom's 2.7, Gleipnir's 6.1. You're spending a lot of gold there effectively to guarantee to sort of guarantee better initiation, better Acorn stuff. I almost feel like Blink's better. I mean, obviously Atos is giving you some stats, some agi and some strength, but
I think the W is so good, and that's what you want to make sure happens. And the blink lets you do that, and also lets you scurry, blink away, make you a lot
more
harder.
like with that Atos, you could hold someone down, and you're not having to commit yourself to a vulnerable position to attack them, use spells. Blink sounds too aggressive to me. That say, oh, you can keep on top of someone because you're blinking towards them, but it's by nature an aggressive in the use of this item, which I don't think Hoodwink really wants to do. I do think she wants to be scurrying in or out or holding someone at bay with the Gleipnir, and he just buys that a bit more time for the spell from afar.
I think it's interesting. There's definitely options. There's nothing wrong with going Maelstrom, then another damage item like, say, Daedalus and then BKB. Or you could go... I mean, you could go funky. You could go for some sort of Kaya Yasha or something. You could even go Lincoln's if you feel like you really wanted it. I think they're all okay.
I've seen casual Morbid Mask gain her 400 HP off of 1 Q, which is about half of her health bar. I was very upset when I saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Sounds pretty good.
That was like old Q, which I mean is still pretty much the same thing. Is a little bit worse, but she throws out 1 Q and it bounces around and like, oh, she's actually not close to being dead anymore.
There was a pro game on the watch tab that had a POS 5 Hoodwink.
Yeah, I think support Hoodwink could be a thing because the Bushwhack, both into trees and with the self setup with Acorn, is so strong. And when you're a support hero, you can get a lot more value out of Sharpshooter because when I played it mid and when I've watched games, I've watched a few games of it, Sharpshooter doesn't really come out very often, especially in team fights, because if you're a core, you're expected to be getting right-click damage in, you want to be in there, you want to be staying, you want to be clicking, you don't be winding up an ultimate for 6 seconds.
Yeah, it's only if someone's like running away or you already have like team fight set up, but if you have team fight set up, you'd rather be DPSing. So it's really just like a power shot plus trying to finish someone off.
Whereas if you're a support, it's fine. You just use your spells, run away, and then you can sharpshooter while your actual cores deal some right-click damage or whatnot.
Yeah, I think there's a 5 that would do really well. This game I saw, the POS 5 was going Greaves. So had the Arcane Boots, which is all you need to have constant uptime in your spells. So you can farm, always fight, sharpshooter, great damage from afar. I feel like when I was playing the Hoodwinker and I was doing it POS 2, I actually felt like I didn't do much right-click. And it was always just spell usage.
Which kind of almost seems like right-click since it's bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, but I never felt like I was stood, hit. It always felt like I was trying to use a spell, trying to use my Gleipnir. Or
that's the problem with the hero. That's the problem with the hero. It's so weak that if you just build right-click damage, say you do some Maelstrom, look, even whatever it's called, Gleipnir, look towards Daedalus.
If a Wraith King stuns you, you explode before you get the runaway.
And so you spend all this gold on right-click, and you're not even right-clicking. You're just using your Acorn, which is fine. Like, it's a lot of damage.
I mean, it scales off of but it's not like...
But you don't want to build Daedalus for a spell. Yeah.
And this is why it's like, I think optimally you would be the 3 because the team can't rely on you, or shouldn't rely on you as the sole damage dealer, right clicker. But as the 3, you've got a bit more license to, in and out, like burst of damage here, burst of damage there, lockdown here, lockdown there. But then there's a true POS 1 to carry you. I think would work better than running it in the mid lane or the safe lane.
It's also why it could be good as a support is that you can push out waves so hard, and then if they kill you, who cares? Like you're a 5 or a 4.
Probably hard to kill you as well when you're running through the trees.
Yeah.
And the win rate's poor this week in Divine Plus. It's 46% according to Dota buff. That's all week though.
It's interesting.
Win rate today across all brackets is 45%. which is very bad.
That is bad. And usually heroes on release have a strong win rate, and I guess maybe
She did on day one.
Yeah, the numbers didn't get tweaked that immensely.
I think people needed like the first day to get absolutely demolished by the queue, and then they're like, "Oh, this is how you just don't explode."
You don't stand. It's like Chain Frost. They didn't realize that the hero has Chain Frost on a queue, and then they realized, wait a second, it's just like Chain Frost. We can't be right next to each other, or we're going to die. And the hero's super squishy, so you can jump it. Yeah. Moving away from Hoodwink, though, Adam, how have your games been? We're 25 minutes into the episode. We'll finally get to ask you, how have your games been, and anything you want to shout out from them about the patch? Any fun stuff?
I've played 14 games, and 6 and 8. And some of the games I didn't even get to try what I wanted to do because we had lost before the build even could be evaluated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like by the time it was 20 minutes to get an aghs shard on Mirana for the extra leap and the crit on leap, the game was over. And then I never got to finish my one position aghs build on Mars. Marco knows about that game. Smiley face. And then, but there are other some good ones. Mid snap still good. I like the aghs shard on that. Gives 125 more damage to scatter blast. Knocks people back. Stuns for 1.5 seconds if they're in the, I don't know if you want to call that a close up cone of scatter blast. So that's pretty cool. Right. Played sniper against an OD, so it was beautiful because sniper counters OD and then OD's bad. So got to play that game, and that was one of the most satisfying games I've played in a while because it was just a classic sniper pew pew fest, but with new items. So
why sniper better now? Because I've seen on the trends he's trending upwards. Did they change? What did they change?
I don't know if they changed anything.
I feel like they didn't even change anything, and yet he's plus 2.5% or something.
I just figured he would be okay, and I wish I had the. You know what's sad is I really wanted to buy that spaceship or spacesuit sniper set, and then I sold all those Dota items to get the money for it when it was 200. I got to about 180. And by the time I had sold all the items over the course of 2 days, it had gone up to $250.
Wow.
For the set. And you can buy all the items except for the gun for like $35. But the gun is like $220 itself. And I think the gun is what gives you the cool shrapnel and assassinate and pew pew effect. But I had Witchblade on Sniper. Was very good. 35
if anyone needs a battle pass ticket, come to Adam. He's got you covered.
Yeah, that's right. Witchblade is 35 attack speed, 12 int, 6 armor, plus 300 projectile speed, which on a hero like Sniper just means even faster peps. And then you get that poison every 9 seconds. That's 1x times your int for 3 seconds. So I guess you could think of it as you're doing 3x your int. And Sniper has good int gain, so it's a fine damage item. I went like MKB, Witchblade, Deso, and the game was over. And then Quicksilver Amulet, that new tier 2 item, 5% movement speed, 10 attack speed, 30% attack animation speed, and 30% attack projectile speed. It was like the fastest projectile ever. And then I had Io pumping the attack speed. So
not fancy Mask of Madness?
I thought about it. And I was like, well, I have an Io. But then you also have, I didn't even go the cooldown talent. I went damage talent, then more attack speed talent. And it was just a ravaging. Just like you'd press take aim, and then their disruptor would get like hit for half his health from one shot. And then I got the aghs shard, and I never even got to cast it. So jury's out on whether that's good or not. I think it's good because it lets you like knock back people.
Mm.
It's like this grenade, but I literally no one ever got close to me, so I didn't get to try it.
Yeah, if they've got gap closers or people that are really running at you.
And also they just added in this A patch, it does damage now, the grenade. So
interesting.
Nice.
It might be okay. And then I played a Zeus game, and that was just like a classic, like Aetherlands, Aghs, Boots of Travel, like Bloodstone Octarine refresher game. But what was interesting about that is like that tier 3 item, the robe, the ceremonial robe, gives you 350 mana and then an aura around you that lowers status resist and magic resist by 10%.
Yeah.
So that's like beautiful for a Zeus. And then I got the Ag Shard, which is the Mario jump. It's like on static field, so it's a activated ability on the E now. And it actually counts as a spell, so it triggers static field. And then you can jump. And so the enemy mid was a Mars. And we were really far ahead, so instead of me like jumping out of the arena, I was like jumping into the arena to blast people. But it was like really cool from like a movement standpoint for a Zeus. You didn't have to go blink or anything. You could just get this Mario jump item for 1400. And then in the A patch, they like immediately nerfed static field. It does 2% less at max now. It's down to 10 from 12. So I think they're like giving Zeus an extra spell to trigger static field. Might have been too strong.
Yeah.
That Mars game of Adams. Oh wow. That's the game I got griefed. I didn't know what Adam was talking about.
You put it out of your head. Your mid.
Put it out of my head, and I've just been reminded of it.
Well, I don't know how much detail you want to go in because I'm about to explain a grief.
My grief was just out of interest to the listener. Twice off lane, so off lane is 2 stack, we're 3 stack. The off lane Enigma walks to the mid lane, goes yonk. I'll take the mid lane creep wave and take it to the bottom lane where we've got an Enigma and a Warlock, and I'll leave.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Literally, the Enigma comes to the mid lane, hits the enemy creep before it hits my mid lane creep, and drags it to the off lane.
Wait, what?
So
he
now
stole your wave twice.
He literally stole my wave twice. So I'm a Timber twice going, the enemy creep wave has been stolen by my Enigma. Okay, maybe there's a chance I could kind of go and take it off him, but honestly, I'm just confused. Like, where's my creep? Then I see Enigma with a creep wave following him, and I'm like, why is this happening? And I'm now just stood there mid with no creeps to kill, no XP gold, and just like, what? And it happens twice. And the guys like all like team chatting, kind of PMA. I'm just confused. I'm just baffled. Sorry, it completely fucks me up because now I don't have gold XP, and this guy then gets this XP lead, and that actually comes to
the
time.
enemy silencer just wrecks you.
I'm getting wrecked already. It's a hard lane already, and there was actually one time where we're man fighting, but I'm level 6 and he's level 7, so he's got better spells, better attributes, and he lives on 20 HP. If I'm level 7 as well, that doesn't happen. Anyway, the game does snowball from that moment. Fine, but honestly, I just couldn't believe that this Enigma twice came to my lane and stole my creep wave.
I haven't seen that before. But Silencer Witchblade, Silencer is the most. What is the word? Like, he builds Witchblade the most.
Really
out of all
nice.
the heroes. Like, if you look at the Witchblade breakdown, it is a very good item on him.
Loves it.
Yeah. Enigma, that Ag Shard is so cool. Dragging people in. If you aren't literally running away, you're in Black Hole, basically. It's actually
like
bonkers.
A whole screen.
It's bonkers, yeah, it's crazy. I played a game versus bots to test out. It's mad. Anyone near it, you can't right click, you can't really cast a spell. Because if you do, you risk just being pulled in instantly. It's crazy. It's kind of a luxury because you're paying 1.4k to make people run away from Black Hole, but it's so good. I thought it was very cool. On another note, though, speaking of Enigma, this is just seamless segues. Here are the counter Enigma Venge, which brings me on to almost a flame corner of boiling rage that I feel towards Vengeful Spirit at the moment.
Venge aghs.
Yeah.
I'll have you know, I won a game of that mid with Venge aghs.
Okay, what build did you go?
Let me look.
What does it do?
Okay, so I went Double Wraith, Treads, Aghs, Vlads, Sanjanyasha, E-Blade.
Okay. It's not even... I didn't even see that until after... So I played with it 3 times. I saw that after I played with it the second time. I saw the video, and I was like, yes. But it's not even for the reason that... So for those that don't know, Jenkins Dota made a video on YouTube, like, having a go at Venge aghs, but because... Well, among many reasons, but the main reason being you can camp the illusion, and because Venge spawns at the illusion. So what teams will do is they will just camp your illusion. The second you respawn, kill you again. Which is quite funny. That hasn't even happened in any of my games, and it's still awful. I played with it 3 times. I've lost with it every time, and the Venge had 0 impact every time. Because you're spending 4.2k on an item that doesn't do anything.
Does do something.
In all the games I played, the Venge dies, the illusion dies instantly, and it's like, congratulations! Now you've now got. It's like you've got an illusion that's also trash. It's like the item's so bad. I could believe in Venge core, but not aghs first. You need other stuff.
Venge comes back to the illusion. Venge again does another illusion spawn that she will come back to.
It's a perpetual chain, but if they kill the illusion, they let you off. Basically, you're free.
They could just keep killing you, let the illusion live, kill you.
Yeah. And the illusion takes 100% damage, so it's kind of tanky.
Yeah.
Like, so they can use stuns and stuff to hold it in place, waiting for you to respawn.
Yeah. But here's my problem with it also is that in my games, it's been... You've just rushed this aghs, so you spent 4.2k gold on something that doesn't improve your actual hero at all. It just improves your illusion when you die. So your hero's basically just got some stats for 4.2k, and then you die and you create another illusion that's just got some stats. There's a copy of this hero that's bad. Yeah, it blows my mind.
If it could use items, it would be cool. I mean, obviously it was bad because it got buffed in 728A. Also, they inexplicably took the second charge off of the swap.
Yeah.
So she's actually just bad because you don't have double swap anymore.
Yeah. I need people, maybe Adam, other than Adam, who's making it work. But
no, we were just ahead. I think it's bad.
In my games as well, 3 games in a row of just abysmal, just awful Venge cores rushing aghs that's bad. So
I don't even think she's a support anymore. I think she's a 3 now. An aura 3, but that you go aghs late.
Yeah, I don't mind aghs later for sure. It's fine.
The aghs shard was pretty cool. Makes your W take 25% of their damage and give it to you, something like that.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. My other games, I played a Medusa with the new aghs and aghs shard. Although that, like Adam's game with the sniper, not too many observations because we were crushing anyway, and I had Mask of Madness, 2 Wraiths, Treads, Manta, Scardy at 25 minutes, so it was just... We were just winning, and it was just Medusa crush game. I played a Magnus and got the aghs shard with the skewer, the whatever it's called, where you throw them over your head. That's pretty funny. Big moment in Dota 2 history, my first ever Brewmaster game. Big moment in Dota 2 history.
Is big.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was pretty terrible. I had fun though. Fun hero. You have 3 broodlings that all do different things pretty much. It's very fun. And then beyond that, not a whole lot to report. Not a whole lot of new stuff to report. I think it's funny. Overall, I don't think that much has changed. I don't think it's
new builds and items. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, because they said they were going to break up the patch, right?
Mm.
So
I kind of want a new map. I want some new map stuff.
yeah, it's like there's no new map or like core gameplay that has changed to accompany all the and item and hero changes. So it is just kind of like the same. It's just like a patch, which I guess is what it is, but it's not like a big patch.
I think the only thing is the jungle creep, woods creep, neutral creep, giving less gold over time is a marginal decrease.
Yeah, marginal game changer.
But out of that, I agree that, yeah, the gameplay, map, meta.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the
Speed
meta's
and stuff.
been that the main heroes, like your Svens, have been nerfed.
I think Sven's the only one that's really been hit. I think the others are fine. PA's still great. Faceless Void's still great. There are other heroes that I think are seeing more play. I know SF's seeing more play, and there are heroes that have jumped up a lot in win rate, but other than Sven, I think the heroes that were good before are still good.
That is true, but then there is also the fact that with new items, some heroes gain more from new items than other heroes. Like, say, the Silencer, for example. No hero gets as much value from, say, a Witchblade. So, relatively, Silencer gets a buff in that way. Yeah. There are bits of changes like that, but they aren't massive. So,
are you expecting a new hero in the new year alongside some potentially major gameplay changes? Like, could they say release the new hero and release a map change? That would be interesting.
I think that sounds reasonable because there is a lot of change that has happened. It's just not fundamentally changed the game. But the fact there's about 80 new aghs, and the fact that aghs is now a thing, it does add a lot to the game that takes a while to filter through and get understood and kind of integrated to the game. New items as well, integrate them, and then New Year comes. I think that sounds like a pretty good change. Big map changes, maybe some new mechanic or something, and with a new hero that spices it up as well.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are hot on this Visage as well, this Visage hero. I don't know if any of you have played with Visage in 7.28.
I played with it on my team in one of the very first games of the patch, and level 3 Visage birds died to 1 with Hoodwink Q. So I was like, oh, this hero's dog shit, is what I thought when I saw it.
Yeah, that's interesting. People like the Visage with the new aghs being able to have flying movement, completely unrestricted movement, and extra movement speed, and being invisible and having bonus damage. There's a lot going on.
Pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Core or support, but it's one of those where it's Visage, so you just see it so little that it's hard to make an assessment beyond reading Reddit posts.
It's kind of funny because this OD game I played unranked AP, so it's pretty high rank, but it's unranked, so people don't give a shit. So I've got techies, and then got a Visage as well, and then some AFK Luna. It turned out well, like I said, with the Pudge, but also with the Visage, the Astral into stone form stuns actually synergized really well, and then the Visage did end up doing a really good amount of damage. I honestly don't know if the Visage was 3 or 4, or the Techies was 3 or 4. Oh wait, I think the Pudge was 4, so maybe it was a 3 Visage. I don't know. The game was pretty messy, but it felt like it did work. It got an aghs eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So you go invis, 20 extra movement speed, movement type goes to flying, and when you leave invisibility, you and familiars deal 30% more damage for 4 seconds. And this entire effect lasts for 35 seconds. That's a lot going on.
Invisibility lasts forever as well.
It's unclear in this. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, it's unclear on the page. Well, 30% bonus damage for you and your familiars. Oh, it says lasts 35 seconds, so I guess the invisibility lasts 35 seconds.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But then it's got a 45-second cooldown, so there's near always uptime on this spell, and you've got flying vision, so you're really mobile lane to lane.
Yeah.
Come out, boom of damage, and then potentially in the second round of the Scepter. It's quite
I want to
interesting.
try. Lycan's boomed up 8% in win rate, which is interesting. I don't even know what they changed about him, but he's the hero that's benefited the most.
The Lycan, the aghs shard, where you make a random lane gets a wolf. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty strong, but I lost in my game. It's I think it's because I built Helm of the Dominator. I did not get to do Helm of the Dominator 2. Unfortunately, I wanted to test whether or not that was actually the worst item ever made.
Yeah, this is the theory craft. That's the worst item ever.
But I went Falcon Blade, Necro 3.
If someone wants to come and give an example where Helm of the Dom 2 is justified being built, and they can stand in front of a kangaroo court and give a 3-minute argument for why one should build Helm of the Dominator 2 in any contrived game they think, go for it.
Be my guest.
Be our fucking guest, because that item has no place in any game with Dota 2.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just wait till TI when like every team builds it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Fucking Ricky's Russian Helm Dom 2 for some reason.
Yeah. Some of these neutral items are pretty darn funky, I would say. Quicksilver Amulet is pretty tasty one. It's tier 2 and it's 5 movement speed, 10 attack speed, 30% attack speed animation, and 30% attack projectile, and grants you 5% bonus movement speed and 15 attack speed anytime one of your abilities are on cooldown, which is going to be a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's a good amount of attack speed.
It was very good on Sniper.
Yeah.
Very good on him.
Oh, insane on Sniper, yeah. Super insane. And there are plenty of other fun ones going on. It's fun seeing heroes getting whipped by Bullwhip for the active. I don't know if you guys have enjoyed that.
I just love the whoosh.
Yeah, so funny.
I like that mask, the 7 primary attributes, 7% lifesteal. Very good for a tier 1.
Oh yeah, super strong.
What's this one? Possessed Mask.
Yeah.
Lifesteal and Night Vision. Night Vision, interesting.
Night Vision? You get Night Vision from Possessed Mask.
That's what Game P.
Does it not give you stats?
It just says 7% lifesteal, 300 Night Vision. I don't know.
Have they removed that in 7.28a? Because in Client it just says 7 primary attributes, 7% lifesteal.
I guess if it says it in Client, then go with that, because Game P might not be up to date.
Yeah.
7 attributes, very good.
Yeah, for sure.
I find it weird that Elven Tunic has 26 attack speed plus.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've gone for 26. Very odd number.
This is in like 8%
MS, 16% evasion. Really good.
Shouldn't it be like 24 if they're doing multiples of 8s? Why does it have 26?
Yeah, 26 attack speed. What?
A hero that we might want to speak about as well, just to veer us off neutral items as quickly as I segued us there. Mars, this aghs is kind of bonkers.
Yeah, that's...
You just press E on and off and you create a wall of damage. It's insane. Have you seen this, Marco?
I've seen the Gork vid where he built,
right.
and that's the only exposure I've had. I need to demo this myself, but it looked...
okay.
I
just played a game against
it. Get to it.
The AoE, is it like a cleave attack from the...
It's like a big cleave around in front of you.
Yeah.
And all you do is you just double tap it every second. So you just press it on and off, and you get the damage and it turns off again. You get the damage, you turn off again.
It's got like a base attack time that it's like charging up even though you don't have it toggled. So you can like E, turn it on, take it off, right click, E, turn it on. So you can like toggle right clicks and then this like cleave attack, or the God's Rebuke and this cleave attack. And it's like really obnoxious in the arena.
And it's plus 75 damage on top of your normal damage anyway.
And it's just you know what? It isn't even the arena. It's like one of the best farming steroids. Like better than it's. You just walk up to a wave and press E twice, and the wave's gone, and you didn't do anything.
It's good. There's no doubt about it.
It's good. I think bug, but I don't know, maybe not.
I think Deso Aghs is fine on Mars now. I think as a build, I think Deso Aghs is okay.
Like Gork went level. I mean, he got it at like minute 12 or 14. Like that was his first item because it's just a farming.
Oh wow. Oh okay, that's fair enough as well. I hadn't considered that. That's probably fine too. Although I suppose it's quite greedy to rush a 4.2k item on Mars. But then again, if you're going Deso, what's the difference?
He was safe lane Mars.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Man, it does crazy damage. I'm just demoing it.
Yeah, it's absurd. I like Mars a lot in this patch.
Yeah,
even without the aghs. I like the Ag Shard is pretty cool that you can spear 2 people. I think the DPS on the ground fire thing is a little meh, but spearing 2 people is cool. And then I just think the hero is really strong in general.
Yeah.
I think this needs to get fucking nerfed. This seems too good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the 2-man spear of Mars. That is
and then Orb of Corrosion stacks with Deso. Like it's big damage.
Yeah, Orb of Corrosion's item of the patch.
Yeah, you see it a lot.
It's really, if you're picking up a Blightstone or Oov, it's really good value.
Yeah. Another strength hero that's back.
Aghs?
Other than Aghs, another strength hero that's back.
What, POS 1?
POS 1, strength hero that's back. And this is a PSA to all the pub players out there, because this hero is a pub stomper.
Let's have a look.
What am I talking about, Marco? What kind of hero do we like to... This is a hero we like to recommend to lower MMR players to win some games
Mr.
on POS 1. Mr. King.
King.
Skelly King, Wraith King, we're back in town, crushing with a 56% win rate. My word, this hero's crushing again. And the best bit about it is you can build Overwhelming Blink. You can build Strength Blink, and it's good.
Oh yeah.
You can go Orb of Corrosion, and you can go Armlet Deso. You know, the same stuff is true of before as now. It's just good. You can go Midas Raid if you want. You can go Phase Raid, whatever. Or you can just go, Treads Armlet Deso or Treads Deso Echo or something like that. And you can get your Overwhelming Blink in the later games if you so choose. The hero's just tasty. Just for a quick rerun, they reworked the Mortal Strike, the passive. So now the Skellies are on the Aura. It's a sick hero, I think, now, and especially in lower MMR pubs.
I mean, did they change
sticking Wraith King back onto the
damage?
recommend.
Did they change the scaling on the crit or something? Because I played in a 5-stack my Mars game where we had a Wraith King, and he had Orb of Corrosion, Phase, Armlet, Echo Saber, Deso, AC, and he just was one-hit people.
That's a lot of items.
He would Echo Saber, and people would die in the Echo Saber.
It's now a 4-second cooldown, guaranteed crit. So
okay.
your first hit is a guaranteed crit.
Yeah, okay, that explains it.
If you haven't hit anyone for 4 seconds, you just come in with a 270% crit.
The sniper would get exploded every time. Or you just stun the Hoodwink and explodes. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Wraith King crit is something to behold anyway, and now it's guaranteed.
Yeah. It's like Chaos Knight now. Just you get a guaranteed every 4 seconds. That's insane.
Yeah, Wraith King is definitely back. I think it's super, super good hero.
The Aghs has changed as well, which is interesting. 75 attack speed, 25% movement speed.
That's to your wraiths, right? After you die.
Oh, it's not to you pass.
No, it's I think it's still the same act.
Yeah. It's just the wraiths, like you say, get buffed with attack speed and movement speed. That's boring.
But you have to get the 1400 shard to not lose your mana. To have the mana list reincarnate.
Honestly, often, many games, you didn't need the mana talent.
Yeah. I'm not bothered by that. I think if you can just be a battle bot and just destroy people with a guaranteed crit, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the fact you can control when your crit lands means you're laning
Yeah, it's like CK. How much? Do you remember how good CK's laning was when they changed the Chaos Strike to be a passive cooldown with lifesteal, and you could just control your laning so much better.
Every range creep you last hit in, every harass hit you do, you're critting on it. It's very strong to control that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I'm very sad about is that I haven't had a chance to try Meepo Dig yet. I'm very much looking forward to that. And also, have any of you seen the Voodoo switcheroo in real life? It's so funny. The bait debate plays are so funny. I had one in my game, and there's this witch doctor sort of wanting to get dived under towers, and people were just like, "Oh, it's just an easy witch doctor," and then and then they just cast maledict and just turn themselves into a ult. It's so funny. It's hilarious.
Nothing you can do to stop it.
No, I don't think so. You're hidden and invulnerable. You disjoint stuns. It's so sick.
You jump into the ground.
Yeah. So the Wraith King will try and stun you, and you just disjoint the stun and turn into a cannon at the same time. It's hilarious.
This is like a shard.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually good, but it's hilarious.
I mean, a lot of games you would probably want to go invulnerable for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Who's paying How much is Ghost Scepter?
1.5.
Who's paying 1.5 for Ghost Scepter when you can pay 1.4 to be invulnerable? So not only, Ghost Scepter, you can still be hit by spells. You're now invulnerable.
The only thing is that the ward isn't that, it's a little less good.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's minus 30 attack speed versus the normal ward. But still, versus a Ghost Scepter, it's not even close.
You can jump in the ground, and then you come back out, right? And your other ward's still going. They don't go at the same time, but I'm saying when you do come back from your switcheroo thing, your original death ward comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, all your spells are back. You can just use them like normal.
Wow, this seems value. I'm using... Yeah. It says minus 30 attack speed, but the death ward is still hitting pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I assume it gets aghs. If you have aghs, it probably splits too.
One maybe triggering thing is I'm struggling to cancel this when I cast it.
You definitely can cancel it, can't you?
I'm really struggling to cancel it. Maybe it doesn't matter too much, it's only 2 seconds, but I'm struggling to cancel this.
With S or with right clicks?
Yeah. Interesting. But not the worst, it's only 2 seconds. It's really pretty value, though.
I do think, as a general observation for the patch, Sven obviously is really badly hurt. Faceless Void's actually hurt quite a lot, just looking at these trends. His win rate's kind of crushed quite a lot. PA still doing well, but not as well. Lifesteal has actually been sort of crushed as well, minus 5% win rate at the moment. Spectre, minus 3.5% win rate. Drow Ranger, minus 2% win rate. These are POS 1 heroes, big POS 1 heroes. There's definitely a gap in the POS 1 carry field. I've noticed this also from watching pro games on Noob from UA and elsewhere. There was a 5-game series grand final in SEA, TNC versus Team Dog or something. And Troll Warlord and Morphling were the most contested carry heroes. And they were contested pickman every game, first or second phase. So I thought that was really interesting to see, because I certainly wouldn't have thought Troll Warlord would be a top tier carry. And Morph is good, and hasn't really changed. But do you think that because of the relative strength of the heroes, 7.28 won't be a carries meta? Because I think the last sort of 6 months, you could say, have been very POS 1 focused, and it's really been a hard carry kind of meta game where the defining heroes are your Svens and your Spectres and your Voids. Are we moving away from that?
I think with new items... It's too early, but I do think with new items, when they are in the range of 1k to 2k, 3k, naturally they favour the non-POS 1. Because the POS 1 knows what item they're going to go for. They're just going to get the exact same build every game. They're gearing up for these key timings. But if other heroes can now hit timings more frequently, I think that's going to benefit them. It can only benefit them, and therefore doesn't benefit the one. I think you're right then with these nerfs coming in. Doesn't hurts the one. So I do kind of agree. On the troll, is that because of the aghs? Did you see?
No, it's not because of the aghs. It's not played any differently. They just build Battle Fury and just farm very hard in these games and turn up late to fights and clean up. That's sort of the play style. It's sort of a troll Snorlord kind of play style.
Interesting. I'm not sure then for troll.
Yeah, it did seem very good. Seemed hard to kill. You know, you stick the troll at the front in the later game once it's farmed. Battle Fury S and Y, and then from there game dependent, but Battle Fury S and Y. And then you have this hard to kill troll warlord, and if they commit to try and kill it, you have the aghs. You have the ult, and then you have 4 heroes willing to back up. You might even have aghs, and you just sort of play it like that. And you don't need to commit any more heroes to pushes. You know, it's a good tower hitter because you just set up with 4 heroes well positioned and a troll warlord hitting a tower, and it's seemed difficult for the other team to deal with in these games. I'm sure you could say that for many carries, but that's how the troll was being played here. Just very, very snory, turn up late to fight and then push, and have 4 heroes behind it while it hits a tower. And obviously gives Roche as well, which is very important in higher rated games. Battle Fury S and Y every game. Anything else on your to try lists that you want to get a game on?
Syllabur / Lone Druid. And the hero didn't change in this big patch. It's just a hero I want to try.
Yeah, okay. Well, I look forward to the how a game's been once you've tried that one, because that's going to be one to behold. That's going to be fun.
Game, don't you worry about it. I'm dragging you down when I try this Lone Druid.
Okay, this is going to be a full Theorycraft game, because something I want to try is the sort of POS 3 Tinker, where you get boots of travel aghs, and then you just refresh this shield on people.
You need to try that out in one of your turbo bot games.
Oh my god.
Right, not our games.
Who is this guy?
But I need to give shield to people that aren't bots.
No, doesn't deserve it.
Medic Tinker, he travels back to get salves and stuff, and was replenish his mana. Boots of travel back in, rearm shield on all of your heroes, and bring salves and mangoes to hand around to the depleted teammates, and then rinse and repeat. I mean, we joke, but him. Listen to this. I'm going on his aghs now. Sorry, it's not even his aghs. It's his aghs shard. Oh, I'm definitely flying into
20.
this.
You gotta wait.
You gotta wait till 20, but it takes me 15 just to get my boots of travel up when I play Tinker, so it won't be a problem. So, targets an allied unit, applies a barrier that blocks the next 275 damage and 40 stat resist. It's literally Heavenly Grace on a 0-second cooldown because you just rearm. And you're telling me that's bad?
Yes.
It's so good. Medic Tinker, 100% is the way to go.
Other heroes on the conveyor belt: Pause 1 Clock, Mid Silencer. I had another one, Mid Pudge. With the Aghanims, I'd like to get this Aghanims AoE Beastie Rot. Who else? I think they're the main geezers I've got lined up.
Yeah. We talked about the POS 1 stuff. I'm wondering whether the sort of Reddit heroes of complaint that have been these Svens and PAs and Voids, I wonder if they will be the sort of Sanking, Hoodwink if it turns into a 3, Beastmaster, these kinds of heroes that have gained a lot in these patches that are 3s, and Mars, sorry, that I didn't mention. And these are the ones that will be considered OP, and these offlanes will start becoming really abusive, like we've seen in patches in the past, where the dual lane cancer offlanes just...
I would love that.
Yeah. You would. I just don't want train wrecks in my side lanes. That's all I want. I want a meta where side lanes are even. That's my dream meta. And then I get to play mid, and it's just good times.
Yeah, you just want them to be even so you can have your pure outplay potential from the mid.
Yeah, I just want it to be purely even. So if I win or lose mid, or if I play better than the enemy mid, I just get a win or a loss based off that.
That's the post-match analysis of every Magic T game.
Yeah.
I destroyed mid, but side lanes lost. GG.
Yeah, that is basically.
You want VIP connection to the Magic T? The only conversation you'll have. Oh, smash the mid lane. Side lanes lost. GG. My core's losing 2k. I'm winning 1k. GG.
That is literally my post-match analysis 9 times out of 10 is cherry picking a time on the timeline that best proves that most shows me ahead of the enemy mid, while my cores are equally or more behind the enemy cores.
Yeah, you're like, I was 50 gold ahead of him at 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes 45 seconds. I'm a K ahead, and both my side lanes are a K behind. Yeah, that's the.
K ahead at 6 minutes. Therefore, the game should be won, and no other factor is to be taken into consideration.
Yeah,
obviously. I was speaking to another midder, and it made me think of this: that if you know someone's a mid laner like Stan, when the only conversation they want to have is the first 10 minutes of a game of Dota, and who's got the most XP or gold in the first 10 minutes, nothing more matters. They go straight to the 10-minute mark. My net worth's 500 ahead. I won mid, therefore we should have won the game. They have no consideration for anything else but that first 10 minutes in any analysis. And it honestly, oh my god, just let them do it. You can't stop it.
That's because the game after the point. So you have this like beautiful 1v1 mid, and it's just pure. It's just like pure Dota. And then you leave the lane. The laning ends, and it's like, oh my god, now I've got to like get these 4 like clowns into the game, and it just dilutes everything. And now it just feels like a circus. Well, I just want the time where it's just 1v1 mid, Dota 2 sickness. But then the problem is, if you do lose, this is the beauty of mid, is that if you do lose the lane, and you therefore can't lean on this mindset of my teammates, like I outplayed the enemy mid. If I'm on the other team, I get plus 30 MMR, so whatever. If you lose the lane, it's just runes. They won the 50-50. They won the lane and got a kill from it. GG. Dota sucks. This blinking rune diluting my gameplay by introducing crazy RNG that just has such a big impact.
There's a perfect flow chart here of the mid laner's game, and none of the final points end at the fault was at the mid laner. It's either I win the mid, if we lose the game, it's team's fault. If I win the mid and we win, it's my fault. If I don't win the mid, it's because of runes. If I don't win and we win the game, it's because I carried the mid game. It's like the mid laner has no fucking perspective.
It's not quite. That's quite extreme. What I would say is, if you lose a 50-50 for a rune, GG. Like the game's not your fault anymore. Tick. If you won the lane and lose the game, GG. You ticked the box. The game isn't your fault anymore. But you can still have games where neither of those are true. Like, for example, when I got wrecked by the SF mid, and I just got like outplayed the other day on Miracle Smurf, and then it's you don't have any tick boxes. Then the outcome is you played against Miracle Smurf.
Yeah.
That's like the situation. If you just lose mid, and you lose the game, and you didn't even get unlucky on runes. In those situations, that's when the mid laners put their hands up and say, "Yeah, I got outplayed," and it's fine.
Yeah.
So there's just opportunities to tick the box of don't worry about it. It's not your fault.
I just find funny speaking to mid laners, and you could play a 40-50 minute just mad game of Dota. So much going on, mistakes, plays, craziness, so fascinating and beautiful. And then you speak to this mid laner, and the only commentary or analysis they care to give is the first 10 minutes of the mid lane. And it's like, mate, we just played a 50-minute game of Dota 2. A very complex game with a lot of fucking crazy shit happening. And you care to spend 10 minutes talking to me about your fucking mid lane experience. Honestly, that's just a sign of a mid laner.
Yeah. Mid laners unite. Need a union.
Dude, fuck you guys.
To rally... to lobby Valve to get rid of runes. I actually had an idea for the mid lane to how to solve the rune situation. That's obviously at the top of everyone's agenda. It'd be interesting if one side of the river spawned a power rune that didn't fill your bottle, and the other side spawned something that all it does is fill your bottle.
Wasn't there a time when you spawned
this bounty rune,
a bounty and a power rune? Wasn't that?
Yeah, but then bottle's too OP, and then it's not that good. I don't want the power rune to fill your bottle. I just want it to be a power rune. So you get DD, but you don't get a bottle fill, or you get a bottle fill, but you don't get this. You don't get any power. That would be interesting, I think. Silence approved. Am I making the Reddit post tomorrow? Is this my one-way ticket to 1,000?
Why can't they both fill up your bottle?
Because then bottles core on every hero, and then I don't know. I just feel like that's maybe a bit much. Then side laners are building bottle and just like drifting to the mid lane at 4 minutes and stuff. I don't know if you want to do that. I feel like that changes the game more.
I'm unconvinced.
Okay, well, there you go. That's the mid laners are with me.
Marco
That's all
sounds like he likes it, though. That's all I can muster.
The only problem with that is it's... If that was the case, then it just becomes, he got a bottle fill and I got illusion rune. If it's DD or haste or something, then I think it's like kind of fine, because those can be really impactful, but illusion rune's just like trash, or invisibility's like trash. If it doesn't fill your bottle, it's actually just trash. May as well not be there. But the bonus is, I suppose, you don't get a situation where it's bottle versus bottle, and someone gets a full bottle fill and a DD on a 50-50, and that's just insane. Or you don't have a bottle and someone just gets a regen rune and you don't, and they've basically got 4 mangoes worth and 2 salves for free on a 50-50. You avoid stuff like that, which is good.
In addition to that, I'm calling next patch, when the map changes, the power runes will be further away from the mid lane.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That would be interesting to get power runes in the side lanes instead of the mid lane. Would be interesting.
Not quite side lane, but just to make the punishment of going and getting the rune that bit more, it balances the scales a little bit. I want to do the mid SF, but again, that's just completely irrelevant to the patch. That's just I want to try the Yule's Blink Magic SF.
Well, it's better now. Mana cost reduction on the Q raises and some other buff. I saw that. I watched a bit of Quake's stream the other day, and he played SF mid 3 games in a row. So he's obviously.
Did he get a shard?
I didn't see him get a shard.
Maybe those minor buffs are good enough for them.
He was just farming it up, doing SF things. But if Quake was playing it 3 games in a row, then he's obviously doing that for a reason. You know, to maybe get it into his pool for if Alliance Theory or Team Liquid are theory crafting that SF's good now.
Yeah, that's enough on the list. But other than that, I can't really think of anyone else I want to play.
I'm just going to build Witchblade on a lot of heroes. See if it works.
I really want to build Yules too. I really want to build Yules too. It's just a shame that it's like 25,000 million gold.
I want to Yule someone in the TP into base. Say no.
Yeah, that's hilarious actually. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Windwalker. I really want to build it. I just want to Yules over cliffs. It just looks hilarious being cycloned over cliffs. It's just so funny. Well, that's it for episode 120. Join us again next week, I suppose. Have a very happy Christmas. And have a final whistle. Or maybe some Christmas bells this episode. Maybe some Christmas bells. But in any case...
some royalty-free bells.
Yeah, royalty-free bells.